Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's setup's a little bit different. I am actually at my bookstore today, and sometimes I bring little projects with me, just so I have something to do in between customers and doing other work-related things. And sometimes, you just have a project on your mind, and you just don't really want to take a break from it. So this is what today is, and I want to share with you actually what I did yesterday in between customers, and then again last night at home, and just what I started working on, and I am in love with it, absolutely in love with it. So I have seen so many people doing crazy quilts and using slow stitch to do crazy quilts. Well, I have decided that I want to make my grandsons crazy quilts. I have two grandsons and a third one on the way, and they love animals and dinosaurs and all the fun little boy stuff. But they're little boys and they're rowdy and rambunctious, and they don't really care about the cuteness. So I wanted to do something that was still cute but still plain that they would enjoy. So this is what I got done yesterday and last night, in between customers and stuff. And I was like, I decided that each panel is going to represent one of the things that they like. And so this one is horses, and this one I'm going to do the oldest grandson's first. His name is Easton, and he's 4, and he's absolutely adorable. And he loves dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are his favorite. So I'm probably going to do a couple of different dinosaur panels. But this one is just the first one I started with, and it's horses, and he loves horses and rodeos and all fun cowboy stuff. So I just started with this, and I decided each panel I'm going to do just one stitch, one kind of stitch. Keep it simple. Again, they don't really care about how much work goes into it or anything like that. So they just care that Grammy made them something they can use. So I just did a chevron stitch for all of the borders, and then I decided to go back and put just a straight stitch in between the chevron stitches because the gaps in between the chevron stitches were so large that even though I'm keeping the frayed edges and it looks lovely and it looks very rustic with the frayed edges, the um the gaps were so large that I was afraid, kids like to pick and poke and stuff, so I was afraid it was going to open up holes with just doing the chevron stitch. So I put these little straight stitches in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like a fence. This just turned out so cute. I'm just in love with this piece. I still have a couple of things that I'm going to do to it, so I thought I would share with you that little bit of what I'm going to do with the rest of this piece. I've stitched in some stars in the colors that I've used, and I've just kept the color palette simple. I've not gone crazy with the color palette on this. I've just tied in the blue and the brown and the cream and the red, or the kind of a burnt orange. It's not really red yet, it's more of a burnt orange. So I've just tied all of that in. This is just some hemp twine that I had, and I actually made a working lasso out of it, just a tiny one, and I couched it down. But I'm so proud of that. It just turned out so cute. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just in love with this. So, I just wanted to continue this little piece right here and just share with you the rest of what I'm gonna do with this. So I cut out of a piece of material yesterday. I cut this star out, and it's kind of wonky. Um, so I had to figure out where I'm gonna put. Kind of want to put it over here. So this is just very thin material. So I want to put it, and I may even put it, let's see, I don't want to put it up there. I may put it up here. I may put it up there. And then I also wanted to use this hemp and just make a rope star, like couch it down like I did with the lasso, and just keep keep that kind of aspect going with it. So I think I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna stitch this down. Um, and I don't know if I'm gonna like what embellishments or if again I'm gonna keep it simple because uh, simple is better, especially for the little ones and boys because they don't care about the cutesy. But I do want something he can sleep with. He can take with him and you know always have Grammy's love with him. So that's really what I wanted to do with these pieces. So like I said, I started with the oldest one. Um, the second one, he is two, well, not yet two. He'll be 2 in a month, or a little less than a month now. So he'll be two. So he really won't know he's missing anything just yet. So it'll give me time to get Easton's done, and then I can work on Stetson's. And then Oakley isn't even born yet. He's due in February. So um, I got plenty of time to work on his. But I'm just loving this and having so much fun. So this piece, like I said, I just did the chevron stitch, like, and so I brought some stuff with me today to do the next one. So if we've got time, I'll I'll show you the next one that I'm gonna start. So I think I'm gonna use this red, or again, not red, this burnt orange. And this is just 3 strands of not pearl cotton, of stranded cotton. And I've stitched all of this onto felt. This is just, I had a whole bunch of leftover felt pieces from stitching felt Christmas ornaments a few years back. And I guess I just went a little crazy buying felt because I apparently thought I was going to make way more of these than I did. So um, I I have all of these pieces of felt left over, and I was like, this will be perfect for stitching um, these little blankets on. So then once I get all of my squares done, then I've never quilted, never quilted, but everybody on YouTube here is just inspiring me to just be creative. And I have these buttonholes that came off of a curtain. So I'm going to use those buttonholes um, to make some pockets on here. Not like so I measured it out the other night, deciding how big I was gonna make it so I knew how many squares I needed to make per blanket. So I have enough buttonholes to do um 4 pockets per blanket. So I'm going to like we'll have the decorative squares, but at least 4 of them will be pocket squares. And like they may have like pattern or something on them, but they'll have a pocket on them and they'll have that little button closure over the pocket so they can like, stick their cars or their dinosaurs or something inside those pockets and just have little pockets for keeping their stuff in. So I thought that would be a super cute thing to do with those buttonholes that I have. So anyway, let's get started. I think I at first thought I was going to do a running stitch around the outside of this, but I think I'm going to continue the straight stitch um that I've done here in the center. I think I'm just going to straight stitch it down around the edges. I think I kind of like that idea. So, all right. And I don't know, I may add something else to it afterwards, but we'll see. Right now I'm gonna straight stitch it down and I hope this still stays in frame while I do this. I don't I'm not the best at doing um single movement stitches all the time. I'm not always very confident. You have to be pretty confident with your stitches to do single movement. So let's see if I can do. There are times when I can do a single movement. I feel like this is going to be a pretty big stitch for that though. Not always positive where I want my next stitch to go when you do single movement instead of two movement. That wasn't too bad. Okay. So kind of want to make these, pretty big, pretty chunky. I like the chunky and the wonky for them. Again, little kids like the big and the chunky and not necessarily the cutesy, especially boys. Gosh, they are wide open. As my dad says and my granddaddy said, wide open is a case knife. And if you don't know what a case knife is, it's just a pocket knife. But it's one of our lovely southern sayings. And wide open as a case knife is just a little bit dangerous. It's a little bit dangerous, a little bit on the. Uh-oh, my air conditioner kicked on. I hope that doesn't affect the sound quality. But anyway, wide open as a case knife means they don't always think actions through. Um, they're just going and doing. We wanna climb a tree. We wanna jump off the roof with a cape. All that stuff. That's kind of what wide open as case knife means. And you'll have to excuse me a little bit. I have a little bit of a runny nose, and it's been driving me crazy. I been doing all the vitamin C and all the stuff, but it's just hanging in here. I think it's this fall weather and different things bloom different times of year, and I think I have just gotten super sensitive to pollen this year, and it seems to be any kind of pollen. It doesn't seem to be mattering what is blooming because every time the weather has changed and something new has started blooming, I have gotten a runny nose this year, and it is about to drive me crazy. And I know I'm slow. I'm slow with this, so bear with me. I hope that sniffling is not going to be so bad in the video. I'm gonna have to go listen to that. Okay, so I paused it for just a second so I could go and blow my nose and stop sniffling in your ear. It's getting terrible. It picks the most inopportune times to just really get bad. Going back to my single movements instead of or my double movements instead of my single movements. This one here. Then I can see if we need another one. Yeah. Is that still staying in frame for you? I wasn't paying attention there for a second, so I might have gotten it out of frame. Let's see if I can go back to my I'm liking it. And there's a customer. So We'll pause again and come back. Okay, and we're back. Lovely. I always love getting new customers. I love repeat customers, but I also love meeting new people. So that's one of the great things about the bookstore. And this is what I normally do. Stitching is what I do when listening to audiobooks. So this is my relaxing of an evening while listening to an audiobook. And I mean, I listen during the day as well while I'm here at work. And I don't always bring things with me to do at work, but this, I just really wanted to finish this piece because I'm so excited about doing this crazy quilt for my grandson. And of course I've got three to do, so the faster I get them done, the 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 quicker I get one done, the quicker I can move on to another one too, because I want to get them done so that they can have them and use them. So, and I love all the inspiration that you can find on YouTube. And while I don't know that I would ever make, like, I like the idea of the slow stitching, and I'm new to the slow stitching. I've been doing cross stitch and embroidery for a few years now. And I love this idea of not needing a pattern and not having set stitches to do. And like, I just didn't know how to really get started into that for myself because, like, I am not an artist. I cannot draw. I cannot paint. I just, my stick people have humps. So that's always been my little joke kind of thing because I'm just like, oh, I don't want that one to go there. That one, I want that one to go there. Um, that's always just been my little joke because I've never been able to draw very well. And while I would love to be able to draw and create beautiful things, I always feel inadequate in that task because I I'm just not very good at it. And part of it is probably that I never had the training or things along that line. But it just, especially, I know I'm not probably not the only one who feels that way. It just leaves you feeling very inadequate or up to the challenge. And I wanted, like, and the, so that, like, learning the stitches and learning and getting confident with being able to do the stitches and create beautiful pieces that I have gotten so many compliments on. It kind of gives you the confidence to try new things as well. And then as I started finding all of this slow stitch stuff on YouTube, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to try that. That's so pretty. So it just kind of gave me a little nudge and a little confidence boost to be able to take my stitching kind of to a new level. So if you haven't, if you're a stitcher, and you like creating, doing embroidery or doing cross stitch and going by patterns, but you want to branch out, this is a great way to just branch out and enjoy the process of it and enjoy the what happened. Let's, let's try that again. Just trying to tie this little piece off back here and it wanted to jump out of the needle. It's never fun. I might have to trim that. Might have to trim that up a little bit to make it go back in there. There we go. Now then, stay. Sometimes if I have trouble getting, like, my thread doesn't want to stay in my needle, I'll bend it down and I'll twist a little bit right here just at the base of it. Well, that I didn't hold it tight enough there, so here, we'll fix it again. Hmm. I'm normally pretty good at threading a needle, but this is not wanting to work for me today. There we go. So give it a little twist, give it a little anchor point in there so it doesn't come out as easily. Then we're just going to run this through here. A few times. Go a different direction. Ta-da! And I'm holding that in my teeth because I don't want to lose it. And my pin cushion is just right there, so I could have stuck it in there. But I never like to just lay a needle down without it being somewhere. Because that's how you lose one, and you sit on it, or you step on it, or you something else. And it's never fun. Ooh, I might have got that too long. Got that too long. Let's shorten that up a bit. I went a little crazy pulling that, didn't I? Okay, so then again, this is 6-stranded DMC cotton thread embroidery floss, however you like to call it. So we're just going to separate this out into 3 strands. Get back here. Sometimes this separates easier than others, but there we go. Try to keep it from tangling up. That seems to work the best. I used to do just 1 strand at a time and then put them back together. And that's fine if that's how you do it. That's perfectly fine. I just figured out this little technique for separating them that way. But it does, I mean, you do have to kind of keep it from tangling back up because it will spring on you. Yeah. So I've bird nested a few strands of thread, learning that. And that's always a pain. I always hate bird nesting them. Then you have to pick it out or just scrap it because sometimes there is no salvaging it. There is no picking it out. Okay. So I really like the look, how that's starting to look. I think it's going to be really lovely once we get it tacked down all the way around. There's my needle. There we go. A little sad that this is going to be covering up part of my herring chevron stitch right here, but there's so much more of it. I think it'll be okay. It just didn't fit like I wanted it to fit down here. So that's okay. That's okay. We'll just keep doing that. That's the whole thing. It's just a work in progress. And there goes that air conditioner again. While this may be the 1st of October, and the beginning of fall for everybody else, here in Alabama, it's still summertime. Today, and it's a mild summertime now instead of being in the 90s and even lower 100s. Today it's currently 77, but it's getting up to 80 today. And the humidity is what makes it so rough down here, though. Those temperatures are pretty pleasant when you don't have the humidity added in, but when you add in the humidity, those are not pleasant numbers. This side's a little easier to do that single movement with. It fits in my hand better over here. I'm tending to pull a little bit tight because I've got that material curved, so I don't want to pull it too tight to bend it. So as you see, I just running stitched the edges because once you stitch your squares together, and I got a little gap here, but again, like once you stitch this edge to another square, you're gonna lose this 1/4 of an inch little slice right here. Ooh, and I almost got the tip of my star into that little edge that's gonna get lost. So you don't want to put anything right up to the edge, especially anything you don't want to be, you're not going to be okay with having it covered up because you'll lose those pieces, those stitches. So I just did just a simple running stitch around the edge to hold everything down and in place. And then I just started doing my chevron stitches, and I mean, I just love looking at these stitches in this piece and just like, ah, and it did, like, I was like unintentional. I didn't plan it out that way, but I was like, it looks like a fence. It looks like a horse fence or a pasture fence if you don't have horses in your fences. I was like, how neat is that? It was unintentional, but I love unintentional little happenstances that work out that way. Still trying not to pull that too tightly. Get all my threads in there though. Yeah, and I'm leaving this edge raw. So again, like with it being a blanket, as it gets washed and used and stuff, these edges will fray a little bit more. And I think it'll just I think it'll age well. I think it'll just have this lovely look to it the older it gets. So as pleased as I am with it now, and as much as I love it right now, I really feel like in a few years, the more they use them and the more they love on them, I think the better I'm gonna like them. So I'm really pleased with it. It just looks so lovely. And it feels good. I think that's important, especially for the kids' things. Stepped myself. Dang it, I hate when that happens. Kids are very tactile and they like when things feel nice. So think that's I think they're really gonna like how this feels to their little hands. Oh, I'm bleeding. Stabbed myself harder than I thought I did. Okay, it stopped. I'm all good now. Did I get it anywhere? No. No, I did not. Okay. Good deal. That happens though when we work with needles. We're all familiar with that, aren't we? It's one of those. Oof, I hate when that happens. This might be. I think I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more stitch here. I'm coming out on the tip end of that point and hold that point down. Ah, no, I'm gonna put it. There's a hole right there. I don't like that hole. We're gonna fill in that hole. Oh my gosh, what do y'all think? I love it. It turned out so good. I might do a little one of these stars in the center here, maybe in a different color, maybe in the blue or the brown that I've got. Oh yeah, I may just stitch one of these stars here in the center of that. But I am loving the look of this. And like I said, I'm gonna do a star with this, and I'm gonna couch it down like I did here. So that's my next little project.